Hi, everybody, and welcome to Digital Champions. I'm your host, Charlene Shirk, where we speak to some of the most innovative thinkers in the digital space. And joining us today is David Weiner with You Should Talk To. I love this name of your company, Daniel. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me.
And tell us, what do you do at You Should Talk To, and who should we be talking to?
I certainly can. The value prop is free to any brand or marketer. I pair them with vetted agencies and or freelancers for pretty much any marketing or technology need. So take the call like I am an agency, talk their needs, timeline, budget, all that sort of stuff. And then typically after that call, I'm making 2 to 3 intros to bid solutions for that marketer.
And why did you get into this particular space?
As a product of COVID, actually. I was VP of sales at an agency here in Atlanta for the last 7.5 years, and COVID had a pretty profound effect on our agency. While thinking of what I wanted to do next and interviewing, I was doing what I do now kind of passively and saw a huge opportunity there, and officially went full steam ahead September of last year. So just hit my year mark.
And then how do clients find you, or do you find them?
It's a little bit of both. I've been lucky that I have a good network. I've been unintentionally building this business for the last decade and didn't really realize it. A lot of my network finds me organically, I'd say, but also, takes a lot of hustle to get in front of VP of marketing or CMO at various brands and organizations who need help. And, once they find out that I'm free to them and a nice little resource, it's usually a pretty easy conversation to have.
And so talk to me when you say when they realize they need me, they need this assistance. What is it they're coming to you? What's the biggest problem they have? How come they can't just find an agency on their own? Why do they need you? Why are you such an integral part of that decision-making process?
Yeah, I mean, the line I typically use is, you are absolutely correct. It is super easy to find an agency. There's 75,000 plus in the US alone. Finding the right agency, however, is extremely difficult, extremely time consuming. So typically, after one call with me for 20 or 30 minutes, talking through their needs and budget and all that sort of stuff, they're getting, call it 2 to 3 really hyper relevant agencies that I am almost 100% certain would be an excellent fit for what they're looking for. There are several platforms and other things that do a good job of listing out agencies, but you don't really get an objective third party to tell you kind of the nitty gritty of what an agency is really good at versus them telling you they're the best at everything.
Give me one example, if you don't mind. I know I may be putting you on the spot real quick, but give me an
No?
example of an agency that, or a business that came to you with some needs, and how you kind of calculated or assessed what agencies would be the best to be in front of them to make their presentation.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm currently working with a brand looking for a new website. We talked through their needs and budget. They filled out a brief of mine that kind of outlines the needs, the scope, technical requirements and all that stuff. And kind of an interesting thing that they were looking for is they wanted to chat with a really diverse group of agencies. So it was a plus to have agencies owned by female owned and operated or owned by a person of color, those kinds of agencies. And yeah, like after one call with me versus trying to vet different agencies and, find them their own, they got 4 introductions after that first call, and they're currently vetting those agencies themselves and going through the process.
And so if an agency wants to be considered by you, right, for you to present, what do they need to do to show you that, hey, we've got what it takes and we could be a good fit for a potential client you may have come to you?
Yeah, everything starts just typically with a call between myself and the agency owner or the business development lead, just talking through, truthfully, not every agency is a good fit for me. Typically, the agencies that I work with are roughly 20 to 50 headcount. I'm not their only business development resource. They're doing their own stuff. I'm more volume for them. But yeah, it typically starts with that. I take them through a vetting process once we've determined that we think we're a good fit for each other. But yeah, it's really talking through their clients, what they specialize in, the types of prospects that they want to chat with, and all that sort of stuff before kind of getting into the finances of all of it.
Okay, we're gonna wrap, but I'm gonna give you a choice, okay? So what is your best tip for either an organization that's looking for a good agency, or you can pick option 2, talk to an agency and say, hey, agency, if you're gonna present to a potential client, here's what you should be doing, because I'm sure you see some bad presentations in your experience. You can pick whichever one you want.
Well, I'd say selfishly, what a brand should do is they should talk to me, which of course is the self-aggrandizing route. But no, I mean, I'll say from this for a brand looking for an agency, I'd say it's important to like really know who you're getting in bed with. Truthfully, a lot of these things are really large sums of money, and my biggest tip for them is talking to uh, previous clients that the agency hasn't sent you. So truthfully, if you ask an agency for references, they're going to give you, you know, three former clients of theirs that presumably all love them. If you're able to, it's a nice thing if you can find clients that they did not send you and really try to get like an objective third party opinion on what that agency did well, what they didn't do so well, and the experience working with them.
All right. Daniel, great advice. Thanks so much for joining us. Interesting perspective we haven't had on digital champions before, and we're grateful that you joined us.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Oh, and have at it. Have a beautiful day in Georgia over there, right up the street from us here in Jacksonville, Florida.
You as well. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Daniel. And that's Daniel Weiner with You Should Talk To. You should talk to Daniel. That's why he's called You Should Talk To. If you'd like to learn more about him and what he does, you can go to dailyadbrief.com. That's going to do it for us today on Digital Champions. Thanks so much for joining us. Hope you learned something new. We always do. I'm your host, Charlene Chirk, and we'll see you next time.